Hello.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. Check, check, check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Think
I'm trying it.
I need not to worry about Sorry, I'm just trying to figure it out with people joining.
I want arms. Oh, sure. Yes, sir.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Finally, I can hear you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very complicated because the thing is, I don't want to, when I talk, I want like when I record this, I don't want my face to be there. So I have to use a different account, you know,
Yeah.
so that, and I keep the video off. Okay, one sec. Now, manage recording. It is being recorded. Okay, okay, great. It's being recorded. Just gonna check the settings once. And resolution, full high definition. High definition. Okay. All right. Anyway, I think if you can hear me, we can start.
Okay. We can hear.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
cool.
we can.
Let me just shut everything that I have open. Just give me one sec. So yeah, I mean, this is about the 7/7 portal. I mean, of course, you would have seen the Vesak full moon, emerald green light that's gonna come now in like 1 week from now, and obviously that is gonna be a very big moment. I think that's the biggest moment in the first half of this year, if at least astrologically. I know the light forces, they obviously have a June 2nd, they're going to finish a big operation which involves clearing of the cosmic evil. So that'll be done by June 2nd. And then what happens between June 2nd and July 7th, I think we're going to be told more about the hybrid liberation plan. So I think that's when that information will go out. One sec, someone wants to join. But anyhow, I think astrologically speaking, there are at least two more important moments this year, apart from May 12th. Like when I say important, I mean like uh, moments that will send us flashes from M87 Galaxy. So it was very easy to actually find out when M87 Galaxy is going to send us a pulse because of the because you have our outer planets making exact aspects with M87. We'll talk about this, but I would say the next two moments are going to be July 7th and then August 21st. With August 21st being, in my opinion, the biggest moment astrologically in the past, in this cosmic cycle. Actually, it's actually and it has been confirmed in the Bogota workshop that we are having the end of this cosmic cycle this year, which is a moment that only comes once in 13.7 billion years. So it's not a moment that any of us will have experienced, at least anytime recently, and what happens then we don't know. That is in my guess, and all of this is just my guesswork, but so far I have been able to guess a lot of things very correctly. So take it or leave it, but I think that date is also the date of the 1221 portal opening, and that date is August 21st. But right now I'm not going to talk about that moment. We can have a webinar for that in the future. I think it's very likely we will have a webinar about that in the future, because they're not going to be able to talk about this on like the portal blog until very very close to that moment, or maybe even after that moment, because this year the energy is it's too sensitive. So hey Donna, nice to see you. You're on mute. If you're saying something, Donna, you're on mute. Donna is part of our Sisterhood of the Rose in New York. Yeah, hi. So yeah, we have so many really great light workers. I think Felipe is in. I mean, I can introduce you guys a little bit. Maybe I cut this part off from the recording when I upload it, but I would like to introduce all of you guys because I think it would be nice for you guys to know each other. At least the people I know personally. Donna is from Sisterhood of the Rose, New York. Felipe is there from Colombia. He's really involved in the grid work there. Admit. Yeah. So Cortez just joined. Cortez is in the US. He's part of the workshops. Then who else do I see here? Joseph, Dr. Joe is the first public tachyon chamber in. Hi, Donna. Yeah. Dr. Joe is the first public tachyon chamber in the world. And he has been keeping the chamber online since I think correct me if I'm wrong, 2013 or 2014?
It's 2015.
2015, all right.
Yes.
Okay, I've discovered a very interesting fact that the Tachyonis website was actually launched on January 11th, 2013. 111.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that, and also very interestingly, we see the emerald light in the Tachyonis website. And then we have Mahanti from the New York workshop. We have Selena over here. Yeah.
Hi.
And then we have Sirisha also, Patrick over here. And then we have a bunch of people. I think I might know more people, but these are the ones I see right now. So sorry if I missed anyone. I can see Patrick in the car. Thank you for joining. I know it's in the middle of the day. Right. So wait, you can't hear anything. You'll have to join on your phone. Sorry. Because I have the earphones. Okay. So yeah, we can move on. Anyone wants to say anything at the beginning? You want to introduce yourself? Or say hi to anyone?
Very happy to be here. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Thanks for
Yes.
joining, Felipe.
Brother. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we
Hi,
just met
Patrick. Hi,
Felipe
everyone.
like at Bogota. Hi, Mahanti.
Nice to see
Victory,
you. Everyone.
yes, Victory Guanming also was there in the last webinar. A lot of people were there in the last webinar. There are some more people I know. They had messaged me. I don't know where they are. Like my friend, I think one of my other friends is supposed to join. We'll see when they come. But anyway, sorry, it's 15 minutes already. Let's start talking about.
I
Let's
just want
get
to
to
say
the meat. Yeah.
real quick, just shout out to all the other Sisterhood of the Roses. I'm also a Sisterhood of the Rose. So hello to everyone and also the members, just so we know who we are as well. Yes. Good.
Yes.
Excellent. Uh-huh. That's it. Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I think
So,
how many people here are in Sisters of the Rose apart from Donna and Vicky?
hi, Pat. Hi, I am Cynthia. I'm Sin from Haiti. And
Haiti.
yes, and we tried to have a Sisterhood of the Rose, but um, the the other forces did not want that. It ended up in chaos, chaotic. Yeah. And then now I'm trying to open a goddess temple, but it's not easy. But we're here. We're trying to hold the light as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else wants to say anything before we begin? I was actually, yeah, from India. Yeah, I was actually like thinking we could do a meditation to begin, but the thing is, like, I don't want to keep dragging this on because I think I will talk a lot today. So, uh, I've actually published the notes from the last two workshops, and there's a really nice meditation that's done at the beginning of every workshop. So I think if you want to check that out, you just breathe in the brilliant white light into all of your bodies. Uh, yeah, maybe we can just do like for 2 minutes. Okay. So we just, I like that quite a lot. That really helps. So since we all came from different environments, if you can just close your eyes and we'll just close our eyes and watch our breath coming in and out. And as you breathe in brilliant white light into your being. Permeate all of your energy bodies, all your physical body, your plasma, etheric, mental, astral, all your bodies with that brilliant white light when you breathe in, and keep breathing like that. And when you breathe out, you breathe out this brilliant white light from all your bodies, from your entire being. Release all negative belief systems, all toxins, all pains, anything and everything from any of your bodies, your entire being. Release anything you don't need right now. And keep breathing like that. And now, as you breathe in brilliant white light into your entire being. And as you breathe out, you radiate brilliant white light from your being in all directions. And keep breathing like that. And keep breathing like that. And we realize that we become one big being of light. And we connect with beings of light across the planet, on the surface, below the surface, above the surface. We connect with groups, couples, positive extraterrestrials, dragons, Pleiadians, everyone. We connect with all beings of light. And the whole Milky Way galaxy becomes one giant being of light. And the whole cosmos becomes one giant being of light. And we are at that moment when the cosmos goes from its out breath to its in breath. We are at that moment of no time, almost at that moment of no time, which is going to approach us very soon, later this year. And we become aware of that fact. And as that light reaches the surface of the earth, that will be the falling of the veil the veil that doesn't allow tachyons, that doesn't allow cosmic rays to reach the surface, will disintegrate. It will be removed very soon. And you can see that light reaching the surface of the Earth finally. And also the light coming from the center of the Earth upwards. So the light meets us both from below and above. And that is the moment of the compression breakthrough. And you can visualize or feel or see the surface of the Earth becoming enmeshed in light. Everywhere around us is this brilliant white light. And Earth will join the galaxy's network of light. We will be the last planet in this whole cosmos to join the galactic network of light and the cosmic network of light as well. And that will be the end of darkness forever in this universe and every universe. And you can visualize that moment or feel it or experience it right now. All suffering ends, all war ends, all poverty ends, all darkness totally wiped out for eternity. And that moment is coming very soon. Just experience that moment right now. Now slowly you begin to become aware of the feet of your floor beneath your feet. You become aware of the sounds around you, of the room in which you are. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. And you'll be fully present here and now. Okay. Wow, that was pretty good. Anyone wants to share anything they felt, saw, experienced?
I just felt the whole universe being encompassed by this light and everything being brighter and easier to see and experience and go through.
Mhm.
I joined in sort of in between, but I felt like when I started this meeting kind of opened up and when you guys were meditating, that all the 3D sort of things were kind of like dissolving. And I was very focused in the here and now. And like all these 3D things were just unimportant at that moment.
Mhm. Okay. If that's it, then we can begin with the main program. So yeah, let me share my screen. Let me know if you can see the screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
No.
Yeah, no, my bad.
Oh,
I just left the meeting by mistake, so one sec. Where did the job? Yeah. Sorry. I actually got like pretty good confirmation about this webinar. The angels, they sent me like 11. They sent me numerology of 11, 11, and 1, 1, 11 on a notification on my phone just before this call. They are funny. They sent me 2112 many times. They sent me 1221. But anyway, they are becoming much more obvious now. But anyway, if you can see the screens, let me know. I'm trying to show you my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Okay. Can you see the astrological stuff?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the chart of July 7th, and before that, I'm just gonna put some filters so that you don't have to see everything. I'm gonna show you only a few points. I'm gonna show you only a few points: Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, maybe Sun. Then which one? Okay. Maybe I'll show you Sedna also. It's fine. We'll see it later. And then I'm gonna add M87 here. Yep. Okay. And then maybe we make it look better. Yeah, okay. Okay, can you see this kite?
Yep.
All right. So
Yeah.
before I show you this kite, okay, let me just talk about this kite first. So if you can see here, maybe I use a magnifier. So this is the chart of July 7th, as you can see above over here. It's July 7th, okay? The geocentric. So we are looking at this from the Earth's perspective, right? And what we can see here is we see Neptune over here at 2 degrees 10 minutes Aries, right? And that is exactly opposite M87 galaxy, which is 2 degrees 14 minutes Libra, right? So what this does is extremely powerful, right? At the same time, Neptune is stationary. So Neptune, obviously, you might know, you may not know astrology, but planets they move, right? They move up and down. If you look at the ephemeris, and I'll show you the ephemeris soon. But basically, Neptune is up stationary on July 7th, which means that it's not moving in the sky, it's completely still. And that obviously makes the planets, it makes it more powerful, the impact, of that planet. And then you also have Saturn over here at 1 degree 54 minutes Aries. And so you have an almost exact conjunction of Neptune and Saturn. And what's happening is Saturn is also stationary. So actually, Neptune stations on July 4th, and Saturn stations on July 13th. And July 7th is kind of in the middle. So in this whole period, Saturn and Neptune are stationary, and they are stationing in the first degree within the first degrees of Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac, right? And at the same time, on July 7th, there is Uranus over here, which is at exactly 0 degrees 0 minutes Gemini. So Uranus has just enters Gemini on July 7th, exactly on July 7th. And Pluto is down here, 2 degrees 59 minutes Aquarius. But if you actually look at the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto, the midpoint is mentioned over here on the right. It's at 1 degree 30 minutes Aries. So what's happening here is you have a minor grand trine, as you can see over here, between Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune and Saturn. They form what's called a minor grand trine. And Saturn and Neptune are exactly at the apex point of this minor grand trine, and they are both sitting at Aries, the first degree of Aries, and they're both exactly opposite M87 galaxy. So, and they're stationary as well on July 7th. So what this shows us is that basically because of Neptune's position, which is exactly opposite M87. So Neptune doesn't actually come closer to M87 than 2 degrees and 10 minutes. It doesn't come closer than that this year, because it's stationed. So then it starts retrograding, and then it goes, then it moves away from M87 basically, right? So this is the chart I had even posted on my blog recently, and a few months ago as well. And of course, you can see we have almost a perfect triangle, trine between. So M87 is 2 degrees 14 minutes, and Pluto is 2 degrees 59 minutes, and Uranus is up here also. So we have a trine between Pluto and M87 as well. But basically, because Neptune is exactly opposite M87, that will result in a pulse from M87. So M87 galaxy, this is the center of M87 galaxy. M87 is a supermassive black hole, right? And it's the source of cosmic love for our sector of the universe. It's the direct portal to the cosmic central sun, basically. So whenever there's an aspect with M87, there is a pulse from M87. So examples of this, for example, we have a pulse on May 12th. On that day, Pluto is exactly trining M87 galaxy, but that's a heliocentric chart, basically. On February 6th, we had an exact geocentric trine of Pluto with M87. That resulted in a pulse on February 6th of this year, and that's where the Phoenix workshop was held just a few days before it. And other examples of M87 pulses include May 1st, 2023, when there was a exact trine and conjunction of on May 1st, Pluto was stationary on May 1st, 2023. For the first time, Pluto was stationary in Aquarius. So that resulted in a flash from M87 as well. Then we had December 21st, 2020. Then before that, we had November 23rd, 2013. So basically, we have a pattern that every time some planet interacts with M87, we get a pulse. And this year, we have many pulses from M87 this year. May 12th is also one example. But basically, this configuration of Neptune exactly opposite M87 will also result in a pulse from M87. So that is one aspect of M87 and Neptune's opposition. The other aspect is Uranus entering Gemini. Uranus entering Gemini, I'll show you some more charts which will make this more clear. But basically, there's a pattern that arises. Like whenever Uranus changes its sign, we have a very big moment energetically. So, for example, Uranus changes its sign like every 7 years. So historically speaking, in 1996, Uranus changed its sign on January 12th, 1996, and you might remember that was the day of the Archon invasion. Then the next time was December 2003. That was the end of the 7-year period of absolute darkness. Actually, there was a moment called the harmonic convergence in November 2003, which was the end of the moment of the rule of the absolute darkness over Earth. And Uranus's sign change was almost 1 month later. Then 2010, Uranus changed its sign in May. On May 27th, 2010. You might remember that the Operation Blue Shield 1 was on May 25th, 2010, just 2 days before. Then Uranus changed its sign in, I believe it was 2018. I don't remember whether it was March or May. Actually, I wrote all of this in my post here. So let me see. Parts, okay. So March 2018. Yeah, May 15, 2018, right? And that was the day actually when the Gamma timeline began in May 2018. And also the entry protocols to the resistance were also posted when Uranus changed its sign. And then it retrograded, and then it finally On March 6, 2019, it entered Taurus, and that's the sign it's currently in. And on March 6, 2019, we have this post called Whatever It Takes, and the tag is Annabella, and you can see Annabella is still, you see in the tags here, we have this Annabella thingy at the bottom. And actually this Annabella thingy is still at the bottom of the portal over here. And just one day before, actually Annabella was not there. It was something else. Like if you see one day before, it was something else. So basically Uranus's sign change is always associated with some big operation of the light forces, or the resistance movement and the light forces, both of them. Unfortunately, 1996 we had the Archon invasion, so it was the dark forces operation. But basically Uranus, you see here, like one day before, it was something else in the footer. And this is a pretty big deal, actually. The light forces changing their operation status. So it also kickstarted the Gamma timeline in 2018 when Uranus changed its sign. I think because Uranus is kind of like the planet of action. It's one of the fastest moving outer planets, So for that reason, Uranus's sign change is very relevant. And actually, when it changes its sign this year, it'll be it will complete all the outer planets changing their signs. And let me show you this in the ephemeris. You will be able to see what I'm talking about. July 7, 2025, 5 years, 30 degrees. Yeah, maybe I'll show you first before that moment. Oops, why do I have so many? Sorry, I need to remove some things. Yeah. July 7, 2020, 5 years. Yeah. So you see over here, we kind of, let me try to move this out of the way. Yeah. So you can see over here, this is just the ephemeris of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, the three outermost planets. And if you can see, they are changing their signs. So if you see here in 2023, we have Pluto's briefly entering Aquarius in Q2 2023, and then it left, and then it came back in Q1 2024, and then it left, and then it came back on November 19 last year. So that was Pluto. And now you have Neptune that just entered Aries on March 30th of this year. So that line is also in green on the top. But basically, that's not enough because Uranus has still not entered Gemini. And if you see this blue line down here, that is Uranus. And now if you go to July 7, 2025, so now Uranus enters Gemini. So this is just the moment when Uranus enters Gemini. And now you can see over here on the top in Q3 2025, we have all the three lines of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They've all changed their signs and they're coming really close together in August 2025. So that is the moment when the 1221 portal opens. That is the moment when the cosmic turning point happens, the end of the 13 billion year cosmic cycle. That moment arrives. So that's a huge moment in Q3. But basically, Uranus entering into Gemini basically completes all the outer planets changing their signs. And I don't want to add Saturn and Jupiter, but they're also relevant. But I'm only showing you these three because then it would get too complicated. But anyway, so Uranus entering Gemini completes all the outer planets changing their signs. So that moment, that changes the resonance field of the whole planet, right? Of the surface of the Earth, the resonance patterns. And actually, astrology is like a way to actually just understand the source, the creator, the An, So when you see this time change, you realize that we are entering into a totally different operational pattern when Uranus enters Gemini, because you see before July 7th, we're not still there in the new reality. You can see the lines on the top, only two of them are there, not three. Right. So maybe even if you add like Saturn here, it'll just make it more complicated, but maybe you might understand slightly better. Lesson 2020, 5 years. Yeah. So you see over here in 2025, right, wait. Oh, okay. Saturn is such a fast mover. Yeah. So 2025 Q2, you can see on May 25th, Saturn enters Aries, right? So you see on the top, like you have Pluto in Aquarius beginning from Q4 2024. You have Neptune in Aries and Saturn in Aries in Q2 2025. But the picture is not complete because the blue line at the bottom, Uranus, has still not entered its new sign. So only once you add Uranus, uh, and then you can get the complete picture. Over here, that we have all the outer planets here in. Maybe I'll show you like 1 year, so it becomes a little easier to see. So you see Uranus entering Gemini. Finally, all the outer planets in August 2025, all of them almost intersect, all the outer planets. So basically, this creates a completely new resonance pattern for the whole planet. So that is Uranus in Gemini. And at the same time, actually, we have to also be aware of the fact that Sun is conjunct Sirius on July 7th. So actually, it's conjunct on July 6th, but I'm just going to simplify it. Because one of the intuitions, one of the downloads I got is that Source actually needs numerology also, in addition to astrology, to work. So, for example, we had like a Sedna Alcyone conjunction on April 4th, but the soft pair told me April 1st. So, Source actually needs the numerology of April 4th, like 4-4. So basically, we need to simplify things a little bit. So that's why we're looking at July 7th. So it's 7-7. And actually, if you look at the year that we're in, it's 2025. So 25, if you sum it up, it's 7. So it's actually July 7, 25. So that's 7-7-7. So Source works in really nice ways, really beautiful ways. And actually, a lot of these changes, the earlier version for the event and everything was much more simple, much more beautiful. Unfortunately, due to this whole Archon invasion, we got delayed. But hopefully now we have cleared all that darkness, reversed that darkness. So now hopefully we can expect some really good changes. But basically, Sun is conjunct Sirius, and also every 50 years there's a Sirius pulse, right? Because Sirius B makes its maximum orbital revolution around Sirius A. Let me show you. Total 2025. I can find, yeah, this one. So yeah, every 50 years there's the Sirius pulse, because Sirius B will reach maximum separation from the main star Sirius A. So 2025, you can see the movement. Sirius B is the farthest away from Sirius A. So we are expecting a Sirius pulse this year. And actually, we can find out the date of that Sirius pulse as well. Because if you actually put here July 7, we have July 7 here, this one. So I know so basically, if you read this paragraph, you'll see that there was a plan. There was a simple plan of the light forces, of the source, that basically the first Sirius pulse that opened the planetary liberation window, it happened on May 25th, 1975. And actually, you have to look at the numerology. So that's also like 5, 25, 75. So, that is good numerology as well, right? It's all fives, basically. And then you had the turning point on August 11, 1999, which is actually related. 8/11 is actually related to 8/21, which is the 8/11, 1999 and 8/21, 2025. So these are actually related. You see the numerology of August 21st this year is related to the numerology of the turning point of that ascension window. So that's one more connection. But that was just the turning point. But this was a big turning point. This was the very original date of the event, I think. Because this was a cosmic turning point. This is the day when the key of New Heaven was actually transmitted from the source. New Heaven is, that key which will liberate the whole universe. right? So this was the moment of Sipapu, when Earth went through a dimensional axis of oneness, you know. So this was a huge day, and there was a solar eclipse at exactly 11:11 GMT on this date, August 11, 1999. So that was a huge moment. Unfortunately, there was too much darkness. There was way too much darkness, and so you know, the dark forces, you know, they withstood it. You know, so we didn't have changes then, just like we don't have changes now. But basically, you can see August 21st this year is also connected via numerology to this huge moment that happened in 1999. And the ascension window will close on July 7, 2025. Right. So this is the whole ascension window. Now, of course, now the light forces have said that ascension window will remain permanently open, and the energy will just keep increasing and stuff like that. But from a Sirius Pulse perspective, right, like July 7, 2025, it has been given, the date of the Sirius Pulse of has been given to us basically, and it is on July 7, 2025, right? So every 50 years we have a Sirius pulse, and that pulse sends us a powerful evolutionary pulse to the planet Earth, right? So you can see here 50-year Sirius cycle sends a powerful evolutionary pulse to planet Earth every 25th and 75th year of each century, right? So so the date of the Sirius pulse can be inferred, basically. um, so yeah, ascension, because basically because because the original plan was, this was the ascension window, and the ascension window was basically opened by a Sirius pulse, and it will be closed by a Sirius pulse. So we have, if I can show you, yeah, this line that says a Sirius pulse in 1975 has opened the ascension window, and a Sirius pulse in 2025 will close it. It will not close now, it will remain open. But basically, we know the date of the Sirius pulse because if you take this line and then you take this paragraph together, you have the date of the Sirius pulse. So it is 7/7. You know. So July 7th, we also have Sun conjunct Sirius, and we also have the Sirius pulse. In addition to obviously all the other things, as I said, Uranus in Gemini, Neptune stationary and opposite M87, and conjunctions with Saturn, and conjunct the midpoint of Uranus and Pluto. So actually, if you see the ephemeris, if I now show you a different ephemeris, if I show you M87 and Neptune, you'll see how nice it looks. 1 second. 2, 3. Yeah, but anyway, before I show that, like, anyone has any questions about any of this? Because I covered quite a lot already. No one? Nothing? Any comments? Okay, so if there's no questions, then let me show you the ephemeris of Neptune and M87. Neptune, Saturn, M87. Neptune, Saturn, position M87. Okay. Yep. Okay, let's so basically, okay, maybe Saturn is a little confusing here, but it's fine. I'll show you for 1 year. Okay. So yeah, this is the dynamic happening this year. Let me actually zoom it in a little more. So yeah, this is the dynamic happening this year. Maybe 20 degrees. Yeah, maybe 30. 30 is okay. Yeah. So this is the dynamic happening between Neptune, Saturn, and M87 galaxy, right? So you can see here like Neptune and M87 galaxy. So Neptune is the green line, and M87 is this black line. You can see they almost touch. They are so close to touching, but they don't touch. They don't touch, but they're so close in July, you know. And at the same time, Saturn is also almost touching the black line, which is Neptune and M87. So basically, you have a near conjunction of Saturn and Neptune, and they also almost exactly have an opposition with M87 galaxy. So this is, and actually Saturn and Neptune, their conjunction becomes uh, almost exact on July 15th. So that's just 1 week later. We have a lot of other things in July, after July 7th. There's a lot of other moments, but I would say the opposition of Neptune with M87 galaxy comes almost exact on July 7th, almost. So yeah, we can see this really powerful dynamic happening on July 7th. And actually, if you are curious about like, you know, this Vesak full moon, if you're curious about like what's going on there and how I found that, actually, I'll show you that as well. So maybe you can get a little more clarity on what's going on this Vesak full moon. So we see here January 1st, 2025 for 1 year. So this is a heliocentric chart. So basically, like there's no retrograding. So you see the line, Pluto's line is just straight. There's no up and down because it's from the sun's perspective. But basically, what you can see is that Pluto makes an exact trine with M87 on May 10th. But you know, as I said, source needs numerology. So we actually say it's exact on May 12th because that's the day of the full moon, the Vesak full moon, right? And you can even see this over here if I like show you here. So it's just it's May 10th, but it's okay. May 12th is the exact day for that. So we use the same logic basically to come up with July 7th. Just that we don't use Pluto, we use Neptune instead. So yeah, so basically like Saturn and Neptune are almost exactly conjunct. They are both stationary and they're both opposite M87. So that's one of the biggest moments, I would say. And actually, if you look at it like from a stellarium perspective, like you can see here, like I'll show you Neptune and Saturn. So so I'm gonna roll it back. Let's say we go to June, and it's kind of interesting to see their movement, right? Like when you see their movement, let's see the movement. You see Saturn is coming closer to Neptune. This is now June 11th, right? So we're getting close to that exact conjunction. Almost exact conjunction. So Saturn keeps coming closer, right? And it comes closer, and then now you see Saturn is actually almost stationary. You can see Saturn isn't moving, right? And then it moves again after July 15th. So yeah, if you look at that again, like if I show you again, I'm gonna play it back and you'll see the animation this time. So notice how on July 7th, like they're almost both conjunct and stationary. So now we go forward. Now you see that? So that was pretty quick. If you want, we can see that again. So you see this? And now stationary, right? So that is July 13th when Saturn is exactly stationary. But basically you see between like between July, let's say the beginning of July till July 15th, both Neptune and Saturn are pretty much stationary. They're not moving at all, right? So that is pretty interesting to see. And obviously, if you look at next year, 2026, 2 they have an exact conjunction. But that's fine. I'm not going to talk about that right now. So yeah, this is the dynamics of July 7th. And this is all geocentric. So because the Sirius pulse sends a powerful pulse only to planet Earth. If you can see here, where is it saying? Evolutionary pulse. Yeah. So 50-year Sirius cycle sends a powerful evolutionary pulse to planet Earth, right? So this is all geocentric. So what's happening on May 12th is actually heliocentric. So it's affecting the whole solar system. But what's happening on July 7th is not heliocentric, it's geocentric. So that means that all of this stuff that we're looking at here is only for Earth. It's not for the whole cosmos. So the May 12th pulse is for the whole cosmos. But this July 7th pulse is for the Earth. So this M87 pulse will be only coming to planet Earth, right? And even the Sirius pulse also is only going to come to planet Earth. So you see Sirius here is in Cancer at 14 degrees 25 minutes, and Sun is at 15 degrees 47 minutes Cancer. So they're almost exactly conjunct. The exact conjunction happens one day before July 6th, but it's okay. They are exactly conjunct on July 7th. So we have so many different, so many different convergences on July 7th, So that's why the light forces, they had said that the event window or the ascension window will basically close on July 7, 2025. And it was always the plan of the light forces to clear the primary anomaly and to trigger the event within this time window, and maybe that plan has changed, maybe it has not changed, I don't know. But basically, this is the energy of July 7th. There are other things as well which we can look at, but they're minor aspects. This is, I think, I've covered like the most important things, which will actually cause the pulse. So we have two pulses. One is from M87, which is the cosmic central sun, which will be sending us, I believe it will be again sending us emerald green light to Earth on July 7th. And then you have the Sirius pulse, which I think it'll send us blue light to Earth. So the Sirius pulse will also is also related to the galactic central sun, Jupiter command, etc. So the Sirius pulse and the M87 pulse, both of them on July 7th this year. So what happens? We don't know. No one knows what will happen. There could still be too much darkness. We don't know. I know that the light forces on June 2nd, they will finish the clearing of most of the darkness. So maybe the conditions will be right, and we can have some changes. But this is the astrology, basically. Any more questions from anyone? Can you hear me?
Yes. we
Yes,
can
yes,
hear
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Have any of you come across any of this before?
I would say no.
No, not in
I think
detail
it's
like
pretty
that.
amazing.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, I think you're
Because
the
I was trying to put this on my, yeah, no problem. I was trying to put this on my blog, but I think it's more powerful when it's explained because, like, I think the blog, it's kind of difficult to understand, like, everything. And there's some stuff I didn't put on the blog also, I guess, but I tried to put most of this in my post, this post, but it's like really, really long. So I wanted to just zoom in on this moment, Yeah, there's some other small aspects. For example, like Al-Nilam Stargate, there's a exact sextile of Chiron with Al-Nilam. Al-Nilam is like where Metatron lives, he's like the guardian of the portal between duality and oneness in Orion. And Al-Nilam is like the center, the middle star of of Orion's belt, the Elan Ra Stargate over there. So there's a exact sextile of Chiron with Al-Nilam on July 7th. And there's a very interesting, like, weird, I don't know, it's like Jupiter has some cool stuff. Like, it has some sesqui squares. You see, Jupiter makes exact geocentric and heliocentric sesqui squares with Chariklo. So Chariklo is obviously like a trans-Neptunian object. It's really far away, but it's in our solar system, and it is related to the goddess energy. And Jupiter, it's very amazing how Jupiter makes an aspect with, it's a minor aspect, but it is an aspect with Chariklo, and both the geocentric and heliocentric versions of that aspect happen exactly on July 7th. So there's Jupiter and Chariklo also doing some things, on July 7th. I believe this aspect will support the Sirius pulse quite strongly, actually. I don't know if you want to see it, like maybe I can show you if I show you Jupiter here, but it's a little hard to see. It's a little hard to see. Like if you see Jupiter. So yeah, Jupiter is here in 6 degrees Cancer, and Chariklo is over here, like to here. Chariklo is 21 degrees, 24 minutes Aquarius, and Jupiter is 6 degrees, 19 minutes Cancer. So they actually, that aspect becomes exact around like something like, I think in the night or something of July 7th. But they have an exact, you see like 21 and 6. So, and sesqui square is like a 135 degree aspect, 135. So like 21 minus 6 is 15, and then you add 120, 15 plus 120 is 135. 120 is their separation, the houses and all that. So that aspect is both geocentric and heliocentric on the same day. So I think that's pretty striking. That's also pretty striking. So that's one more minor aspect going on. What else do you have? But basically the main aspect I would say is this whole Neptune opposite M87. That is the main aspect. And then Uranus entering Gemini and Sirius pulse. Those are the main things, So it's a little bit of coincidence, I think, that everything, Uranus is changing its sign, Neptune is stationary and opposite M87, and Sirius is doing its pulse. Like, it's just so coincidental. And Sun is conjunct Sirius. All of this on the same exact day, That's just how the source works. Like, he just wants everything to happen like one day, finish everything, So this is the astrology. I would say I don't think I have anything else to speak about. There's some other stuff like, if I add Venus over here, I'll show you. Venus is also making exact conjunctions with Uranus and Alcyone. So that is kind of supporting the pulse. So Venus over here is like, Venus is conjunct Uranus, and Uranus is conjunct Alcyone. So Alcyone is 0 degrees Gemini, 20 minutes. 0 degrees and 20 minutes Gemini. And Uranus is 0 degrees Gemini. So Uranus makes an exact conjunction with Alcyone on July 15th. And that is an explosive first contact energy on July 15th. Right? But even on July 7th, when Uranus enters Gemini, it is, I'll show you, it looks very beautiful if you look at it like in stellarium. Uranus. You see, it's so beautiful. You see, you have 3 of them, Venus, Uranus, and Alcyone, all of them over here. So you see on July 4th, actually, Venus makes an exact conjunction with Uranus. But on July 7th, they're all, Venus, Uranus, and Alcyone are all together in the sky. Yeah. So that is going on, and then what else is going on? If you start looking at minor aspects, I think I've written like maybe 20 of them. Like Haumea is stationary on July 15th. So even right now on July 7th, you see Haumea down here is 1 degrees 5 minutes, and it's stationary. It actually stations on July 15th, but it will be stationary, almost stationary even on July 7th. So even Haumea is stationary, right? So even that is kind of cool. And then what else do we have? We have a bunch of other small things. I think there's like some stuff with exact sextile of Jupiter with Thuban. So Thuban is over here, 7 degrees 48 minutes Virgo, and Jupiter 6 degrees 19 minutes Cancer. So there's like a sextile going on between Thuban and Jupiter. and that sextile, it becomes exact on July 14th. So I mean, mid July, like July 15th, we have a lot of things becoming exact, but their effect will also be felt on July 7th. Basically, once we enter July 7th onwards, we enter a new reality, kind of like a new astrological period. Everything just like the astrology of after July 7th is extremely rich, like very, very, very rich, extremely. Like both July and August are extremely, extremely rich. I will probably have a different webinar to talk about like that period, like after July 7th, because there's too much to talk about. Yeah. In terms of other minor aspects, there's also Pluto over here. Like Pluto's at 2 degrees 59 minutes Aquarius, and Shapley attractor is over here in Scorpio, down here next to Haumea. It's 2 degrees 42 minutes Scorpio. So Pluto is making a square with Shapley attractor. So it's 2 degrees 59 and 2 degrees 42. So Pluto makes an almost exact square with Shapley attractor down here. So that aspect becomes exact on July 20th. But even on July 7th, it will be felt pretty much, Actually, the heliocentric version of this aspect is much more striking. It happens on August 21st, but we'll talk about that in a different webinar. And then we have some more minor aspects. I mean, a bunch of other stuff is going on as well. But Vesta is doing some things here. You can read about this if you really want to dive much deeper. Earth is conjunct Vega on July 7th. So Vega is always a good light forces sort of place. And I already showed you Venus and then Saturn, Neptune. Oh, and after June 21st is the summer solstice, right? So the divine masculine energy can make itself much more strongly felt. So December 21st, December 21, 12/21 is the winter solstice. So that is when the goddess energy, starts. And that's actually December 21st is a very ancient goddess festival, So June 21st is the divine masculine version. So July 7th is after June 21st, right after that. And obviously you have Uranus also has a lot of, Uranus has a very big correlation with the United States, because if you look at the natal chart, the US natal chart, I'll show you here. So you see this is the US natal chart in the middle, and Uranus is at 8 degrees 55 minutes of Gemini. And on July 7th, you see Uranus will enter Gemini. So the US will have its Uranus return pretty much. So basically that's why Uranus and Gemini will impact the United States immediately. As soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it will have an impact on the United States. And we all know where the financial system is headquartered, right? In New York City. So yeah, Uranus and Gemini has a big impact on the US. The whole transit, the entire transit of Uranus and Gemini till 2032, actually. But it will be felt or as soon as it enters Gemini. There are some people who really talk about this in much more detail. You can see that. So I think that is about July 7th right now. Here. But the most striking aspect is, in my opinion, the opposition of Neptune sitting exactly opposite M87, right? And actually that doesn't become exact this year. You can see Neptune only reaches 2 degrees and 10 minutes of Aries. But it will become exact in the next 2 years, So if I just show you the Neptune, I think I already showed you, right? Neptune and M87. I don't remember. Maybe we'll see it again. Oh, sorry, not heliocentric. Oh, by the way, this configuration that I'm talking about, Neptune opposite M87. So this is the geocentric version, but the heliocentric version becomes exact on May 25th, 2026. So that's again, May 25th is a huge timeline day. Even this year, we have Operation Blue Shield 2 on May 25th. So yeah, Neptune opposite M87 is huge. We just got some more confirmation about how big it is. Yeah, so this is Neptune and M87. You can see they have the almost exact opposition in on July 7th this year. And then, Neptune retrogrades and then it goes back into Pisces and then it comes back into Aries on around the end of January next year. And then it makes 3 exact oppositions with M87 next. So 2 are in 2026 and 1 is in 2027. But the first almost exact opposition happens on July 7th this year. I think this was a very striking chart. When I saw this, I was like, wow, like it doesn't touch the lines, they are so close. Like you see in 2025, they're so close. Like if I zoom in even more, it's like almost like touching, almost, but not exactly. But even that's okay, that's fine. As long as it's almost exact, it's okay. So yeah, this was July 7th. And now obviously like the light forces, I don't know their plans. I know they have wanted to trigger the event on July 7th. I know that's been their plans because we know these points, these days they are known cosmically. Like the source opened the liberation window in 1975 on May 25th. And the source wants to close the liberation window on July 7, 2025. As you can clearly see with this, this Neptune opposite M87, we can clearly see that source wants to send planet Earth a pulse, So source will send us a pulse. Sirius will also send us a pulse. So we have both the cosmic central sun and the galactic central sun and Sirius. Everyone sending us pulses on July 7th. So in my opinion, this astrology is just far too powerful. And if there is enough clearing of the lurker done by then and enough clearing of the dark forces, then I think this configuration is strong enough to trigger the event. But that's just my educated guess. It has not been confirmed by anyone. And I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then life will go on. A lot of people keep asking me, what happens if you're wrong? Then nothing. Just life just goes on, and we keep doing our stuff. But I'm hopeful. Like now even on in the New York workshop, it was said that the light forces before this moment they were quite scared. They were quite worried. They were fighting a lot of darkness. They were not happy. They were just in the war. They were fighting the war. But now they are hopeful. Now they are finally happy. Finally, we have cleared enough cosmic darkness that now, hopefully now we can trigger some big changes. Finally, we have reversed the Archon invasion. Almost completely reversed it. So hopefully, and I know some people had shown a chart of the lurker disentanglement and how much percentage of the lurker will still be remaining by July 7th. So if I can find that chart, maybe it would be good to see that. Yeah, I think it was here. Yeah, so this was made by Libra, right? So they have said that by July 2025, we have reached, I think, below 10% lurker. So I know that as of last month, the lurker was only 18 to 20% remaining as of April 2025. So you can see that point is here, 20. So by May, we'll go down to around, I think, 15. By June, by around 12. And by July, I think we'll be at around 10% left. So hopefully that will be the critical threshold, and we can trigger some big changes, But this is just a projection. No one knows when the event will happen. No one knows what's going to happen. All we know is the astrology looks like it's going to be another pulse from the cosmic central sun. And obviously we have the Sirius pulse. So two things. Yeah, so anyone has any comments, questions, anything? Sorry, wait, people are chatting? Wait. Neptune, Goddess Mysteries, gotta run. Share something on Sharon. Sharon, the moon of Pluto, right? So you can see that Pluto is making almost an exact trine with a square with Shapley attractor over here at 2 degrees 42 minutes. Pluto's at 2 degrees 59. So I'm sure that Sharon will also be the relay station for the flash from the cosmic central sun. Yeah, Sharon will be involved in this. Sharon is actually one of the most beautiful places in the solar system. And it was a disgrace that the Chimera used to use it as an operational base, for the exotic weapons before, like when the Archon invasion happened. But then the Light Forces they took it over again, thankfully. Now Sharon is one of the most beautiful places in our solar system. So actually, Pluto is like a double star, pretty much. It's like Pluto and Charon. Charon is almost half the size of Pluto. So Pluto and Charon actually kind of revolve around each other. It's very interesting. Charon is very interesting. So yeah, hopefully we can go to Charon soon. I want to go there. A lot of people laugh when I say that I want to go to Pleiades and but I do want to go to Charon. And hopefully you guys have a list, maybe make a list of where you want to go in this galaxy, in this universe, places you want to check out, because I hope that now the Light Forces can trigger the event and they can, we can go wherever we want, exit the quarantine, soon, hopefully. Yeah, any other questions?
Hello, I would like to say something. Yes, I'm Felipe. Well, it's my first time in these workshops, and actually, I got into your blog a few days ago, and we're learning a lot. And the last one, maybe a little bit off topic, maybe of this, but one of the latest blogs I read was about the Tachyon machine capsule in Bogota. I'm in Bogota, so I just heard that Felipe, well, another person here is from Bogota, so I would like to maybe have more information, or if I have some contact with a person here in Bogota about this tachyon technology or energy.
Is Felipe here?
I will.
Yeah.
Hola, hermano.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I will send you a message and we can speak all about it. And yeah, we're going to be in this month. It's going to start working here in Bogota. So we're very, very, very excited with that.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'll message you my number and we can speak. Eso, hermano.
Awesome. Listo, vale, gracias. Awesome. Thank you.
Actually, there's a lot of stuff that I also know about tachyons now, because there's a lot I can talk about tachyons. But first, I just noticed that we also have a grand trine. You see that Venus over here is actually making an exact trine with both M87 and Pluto on July 7th. Can you see Venus 3 degrees 20 minutes Gemini, Pluto 2 degrees 59 minutes Aquarius, and M87 2 degrees 14 minutes Libra. You see the triangle I'm talking about? Like this one, pretty much. This really bad drawing, but yeah. So yeah, we have some really beautiful astrology. About About tachyons, like actually, I just posted on my blog, right? Like recently, I think I posted this that tachyons are they're the first particles, right, created at the beginning of this cosmic cycle. So this cosmic cycle began 13 billion years ago, and actually, I got this download. I was doing the Emerald Ray, and I got this download that tachyons they actually look like this. You know, they have like a green emerald green color. And actually, we were doing the we were doing this at the New York workshop where we made two spirals and we anchored the emerald ray into the goddess ley line, right? So while doing that, I got the vision, I got the download that like the whole surface of the earth, the sky, for example, will look emerald green, you know, because the tachyons are actually emerald green in color. And you know they look like this, they look like a hexagon, you know, like a flower of life. Basically that's the structure, kind of. And if you see this website of the tachyon chamber website, you know, you have this image that actually has emerald green flower of life made on it, you know. So it's very interesting actually. Tachyons, in my opinion, the cosmic central sun is emerald green, and the tachyons are also emerald green at the subquantum level, you know. Very interesting, like these particles, you know. That's why they're the closest particles to source, you know. They look like emerald green flower of life, basically. So yeah, highly recommend taking tachyon chamber sessions. And there's some more confidential information that I know that confirms what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to talk about that because it's a little confidential. But if you're a chamber owner, you might know some things more than just this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there something in the chat here? Okay, yeah, you can contact Felipe. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Anything about this? Anyone has any, anything about this astrology? Any questions or anything? Or you want to say anything? Because this is pretty striking, in my opinion.
I just want to say this is an awesome chart, and just looking at it, and yes, the sacred geometry that's there, and then all the connections that are going to be there at that moment. And also, my daughter was born on 7/7, so that's something. Yeah, that's my middle daughter's birthday, actually. But yeah, I think it's beautiful. I do see the power in it. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Very powerful.
Happy birthday in advance. She'll have a good birthday. Hopefully, very good birthday.
Yes. Thank you.
The best birthday.
Yes, it is. It's a great birthday present.
A great birthday.
Yes.
I mean, this is what? Wait, what? This is okay. Interesting. I just saw something.
Wow.
It looks like a star as well, like a 6-pointed star. But the only problem with that is like you can't have M87 here. We need to remove M87. But if you add M87, it looks like a 6-pointed star. Anyway, this is like a very this is the entire chart of that day, basically. So, but I'm not really seeing like anything else in this chart that I want to talk about. Maybe you have. Yeah, no, I pretty much presented everything, I think. So what do you guys think? You think anything will happen?
I think at least something will happen. I don't know if it'll be the event, but maybe like some, because these energies, it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be intense. So that usually translates to some kind of physical action.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, it's like pretty, in my opinion, it's pretty convincing, because if you look at like the pulse, you know, that's going to happen on May 12th, you know, I'll show you May 12th. So this is May 12th, and let me show you magnifier. One second, magnifier. Yeah. You see, Pluto is here. So this is a heliocentric chart, by the way. So this is like from the sun's perspective, okay? Heliocentric over here. The other chart that I was showing you all this time was geocentric. So that's Earth's perspective. So if you look here, you see on May 12th, you have Pluto exactly at 2 degrees 14 minutes Aquarius. And here on the top, you have M87, that's 2 degrees 14 minutes Libra. You see, like they're exactly trining, each other. Exact trine on May 12th, And we all know like what's going on May 12th. I hope you have read this latest update, right, on the portal. This one. I hope you have read this, all of you, because if you haven't, then I strongly recommend. So, Vesak full moon on May 12th, ascended masters will gather in Tibet and help determine the course of evolution. And at that moment, a strong pulse of emerald ray will emanate from the cosmic central sun. And it will travel through M87 galaxy, through the whole Milky Way, through Al-Nilam stargate, and towards the Earth. So, and at that moment, Pluto will make an exact heliocentric trine with M87 galaxy, which is exactly what I'm showing you here. Like here, you see Pluto 2 degrees 14, exactly trining M87. And Haumea making an exact heliocentric semi-sextile with M87. So that can be seen here. You see Haumea is down here, 2 degrees 12 minutes, Scorpio. And M87 is 2 degrees 14 minutes, Libra. So they are also making an exact semi-sextile, pretty much. They are slightly separated by 2 minutes. So 2 degrees 12 and 2 degrees 14. But it's good enough to say it's exact, which is what I'm saying even about July 7. Like even though Neptune is 2 degrees 10 and M87 is 2 degrees 14, it's okay to call it exact, pretty much. So then this will allow the emerald ray enriched with the cosmic love energies from M87 galaxy to enter our solar system and heal a great deal of trauma that was caused to the solar system by the Archon invasion in 1996. And also Jupiter will make an exact geocentric conjunction with Al-Nilam stargate in Orion, allowing very advanced healing energies of Archangel Metatron to disentangle this planet from much anomaly. So this also can be seen also. If you just look at the geocentric version of the chart, you can actually see this. And actually, all of these words are almost exactly taken from what I had written an article like long ago here, like in January pretty much, where I had actually shown all of this stuff, So like all this stuff is already written here. But basically, like you can see it here, like Jupiter is also here, 23 minutes. This is geocentric now. We're looking at the geocentric version from the Earth's perspective. So Jupiter is 23 degrees 49 minutes Gemini, and Al-Nilam is 23 degrees 48 minutes Gemini on May 12th. So we have an exact conjunction over here, geocentrically, of Jupiter with Al-Nilam. So this is also really, really powerful. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful, So May 12th, just because on May 12th we have basically the same stuff that I'm talking about, what I said will happen on July 7th, is happening heliocentrically on May 12th, But geocentrically, the pulse is going to come on July 7th, So the mechanism is the same for pulses. Basically, the mechanism is always that like one of the outer planets, either Pluto or let's say Neptune, they make some aspect with M87. That is the mechanism that usually triggers the pulses. And in the past, it has been exactly the same mechanism as well. All the pulses from M87. So November 2013, May 2023, December 2020, and then what else? Yeah, these are the 3 M87 pulses. So if you actually search for M87 on the portal, like you can actually go back and like see all the pulses that have happened in the past. Like you just go and search. I put this PDF as well on my blog. So we have the various pulses like May 2023, and then you have December 2020, so we have had a history, basically. We have had a lot of history of these M87 pulses, so being triggered by, these outer planets making aspects with M87, right? So basically, like, this is just Pluto and Neptune, right? And this is M87, right? And you can see here that there was a moment on February 6th where Pluto made a trine with M87. So this is all geocentric right now. So that was one moment, and then the next moment of Pluto with trining M87 is on August 11th, which is just before 1221 will open, portal 1221. And then the last moment is on December 15th. So that's the geocentric version. And then in terms of Neptune, you have one moment here on July 7th. So that's the geocentric picture. And then if you look at the heliocentric picture, which is what is being spoken about right now on the portal, you have 2025, you see 2 years. So you have the first moment on May 12th, heliocentrically with Pluto trining M87. And then you have the Neptune opposition with M87 on May 25, 2026. So these are the heliocentric moments, pretty much. So these are the moments of M87 flashes, either for Earth or for the whole solar system, basically. Now I'm just going to go back to geocentric and just do Jan 1 for 2 years. Okay, so yeah, we can see them written down as well. They're all written down. Like the pulses, the flashes in 2026 will be April 4th. Actually, April 4th will have a flash as well. Next year, April 4th. Even though it's written April 1st, I know it will be April 4th most likely due to the numerology. And then October 25th also next year. And this year you have February 6th, August 9th, and December 15th or 14th. But you notice here that we don't actually see the exact opposition this year, just because it's not completely exact. It's not exactly 2 degrees 14. It's 2 degrees 10. So you don't see it written down over here. But if you look at the if you look at it visually, then you can actually see that it is almost exact. Neptune is almost exactly opposite M87 on July 7th this year. But I don't want to talk about next year. I don't want to talk about, like, there's a lot to talk about otherwise. I'm not even talking about August right now. August is its own story with 1221. But basically the conclusion is that 1221 will open. The portal 1221 will open, in my estimation, on August 21st, 2025. And that will be the moment of the cosmic no breath. The cosmos, it breathes out and it breathes in. And that moment when it's completely still, that is the moment of the no breath. And that moment will come once in 13 billion years. And that moment is on August 21st of this year. So that moment actually allows the source to directly intervene in this whole creation. So a lot of people have this question that, like, why isn't God helping us? Why are we just like left, over here with no intervention? Light forces are not intervening. Like, no one is coming to help us out. Life here sucks. It's so difficult. That's because the source cannot intervene in this creation unless there's a moment like the cosmic cycle ending, which is happening this year finally in August. But apart from that, the source cannot intervene that directly in the universe, because there's anomaly, and that anomaly is blocking the source from reaching the Earth. That's why the tachyons, they are the direct connection we have with the source, and the tachyons cannot reach the surface of the Earth right now, outside of the tachyon chambers. Right, so source is not all powerful. Even the light forces are not all powerful. So hopefully by July 7th there will be enough of darkness cleared that we can finally, the astrology can bring some physical results. Because even May 12th will will be mostly clearing the lurker and stuff like that around the Earth, but it will not. I don't think it will change the surface of the Earth, like, like in terms of the event or anything. It will energetically, it will clear a lot of darkness on the surface of the Earth, especially due to Metatron and due to the Emerald Ray and stuff like that. But there's still, I think, a lot of darkness, so they cannot trigger the event right now. But hopefully by July, hopefully, if the operations are done, then hopefully we can do something. So yeah. Any other questions from any?
I have a question.
Yes.
Dear, do you know about May 25?
Yeah, I've already written a lot about May 25. Just read this post. I've written like everything that I know in that post. Where's that post? Yeah, May 25, because oops, oh gosh, what did I do? Oh no, what did I do? Oh, yeah. So you see, like, what did I do again? May 25. Yeah. So the numerology is obviously 525, 2025. So numerology is very good. And Blue Shield, actually, May 25th is a very strong timeline day. You can read this. Like on May 25th, 1975, the whole 50-year process of the planetary liberation has started. So that was 1975. May 25th, 2010, Blue Shield was activated. And that was when the Orsini family lost all the power, and a lot of power. And then May 25th, 2013, there was a very important energetic moment. And May 25th, 2025, there will be Blue Shield 2, about which nothing can be said by the light forces right now. Maybe they'll talk to us about it in June after it's done. But the astrology of May 25th is pretty important because on May 23rd, Neptune will enter Aries heliocentrically. So this is a new spiritual cycle, 160-year spiritual cycle for the entire solar system. On May 23rd, that happens. Then Saturn enters Aries on May 25th. So that is another 29-year cycle. So you remember that the previous cycle of Saturn, that was the 29-year cycle. That was from 1996 till 2025. That was the period of the clearing of the cosmic darkness, right? So now that cycle has ended, and now we are beginning a new Saturn cycle. So in this cycle, hopefully we'll have all the really good developments, because the darkness has been cleared in the previous Saturn cycle, And then on May 25th, you have other stuff. You have a bunch of other things, like a bunch of other important, moments astrologically. You can read this. It's a very big list, very, very big list. Like, for example, Haumea makes a semi-sextile with M87 galaxy on May 22nd, heliocentrically. That's one pretty good moment, I would say. There's a lot of them. Sun conjunct Uranus on May 17. Sun conjunct Alcyone on May, like, if you look at Stellarium, you'll see, like, let's see. Sun is doing a lot of good things on May 25th. So you see Sun is here, and Sun will be close to Mercury and Uranus and Alcyone. So here you have Sun, Uranus, Mercury. So Sun Uranus conjunction May 17, and then Sun is almost conjunct Alcyone, and then Mercury conjunct Uranus on May 24th, right? And then you have Sun is conjunct Mercury and Aldebaran on May 29th. And then so yeah, Sun is between Mercury, Sun is between Alcyone, Aldebaran, Mercury, Uranus. So yeah, we have a lot of powerful moments in the sky, powerful astrology in that on May 25th. Apart from Neptune and Saturn changing their signs into Aries, So those are good. Those are pretty good, I would say. Sun sextile Neptune, Sun trine Pluto. Then what else? Chariklo retrograde. You have a bunch of Chiron conjunct Eris. So these are really slow-moving planets. Chiron conjunct Eris. So yeah, Chiron and Eris is like goddess energy, and Chiron is like the wounded healer. So it's like you have some goddess energy is healing the masculine, something like that, like on May 27th. So almost on May 25th also. So you have a bunch of really good astrology on May 25th as well. But the thing is, it's like we're still in that period of clearing of darkness until June 2nd. The light forces are still in the cycle of clearing of cosmic evil, I would say. So these things are just gonna clear the cosmic evil. Even the May 12th is just gonna clear the lurker and clear the dark matter, plasma, anomaly, entities, and stuff like that. So until June 2nd, I think we're still just clearing the evil. After that, I don't know what comes. Maybe hopefully planetary liberation, hopefully. So yeah, May 25th is a good day though. Good day, yeah.
Thanks for that
Yeah.
reminder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, any other questions? Also, yeah, we have Sirius and Isis also have a connection through 2112. So on July 7th, we'll also have the Isis energy. So Isis is coming from the Sirius star system, the goddess, the galactic goddess Isis. She comes from Sirius. He's from Sirius. So that's why July 7th will be also the return of Isis when the Sirius pulse happens, because of the numerology of 2112, like the portal 1221, pretty much, which is going to open like 1 month later. But the Sirius pulse will bring Isis back to Earth, basically. And then you have obviously the Order of the Star, Jupiter Command. All of them will be really active on July 7th. Oh, there's one thing I completely forgot to mention about July 7th, which is also pretty nice to talk about. It's this heliocentric Barbolt basket, which is actually, oops, I don't want to print anything. Yeah, July 7th. Yeah. So wait, let me move it down a little bit. I want to, one second. I want to move this down. Yeah. So yeah, you can see on July 7th, we have this kind of a basket, So this is now heliocentric. This is not geocentric. This is the version from the sun's perspective of how the planets and everything look, So you can see we have this sort of a basket. You see like a basket shape, over here, where you have Mercury. Over here on the left, you have Mercury. And you have two asteroids, Juno and Vesta. But let's say it's Mercury. If you look at the planets, then down here you have Pluto. Over here on the right, you have Neptune, and you have some other planets, but mainly I would say Neptune and Saturn, but mainly I would say Neptune. Let's say Neptune and Saturn, and little bit also Venus, also little bit. And then you have over here on the top, you have Uranus, right? So you have opposition between Mercury and Uranus, opposition. But you see, like you have like what's called a Barbolt basket, like this shape, which has got two minor grand trines and an opposition. This is called a Barbolt basket. And it's actually a very striking astrological configuration, right? So we have this on July 7th, heliocentrically. And, it kind of represents like, again, it just shows you like, like a closing sort of a thing, because we don't actually have a lot of these nice astrological like heliocentric kind of configurations. We rarely see these things, basically. So yeah, we have a Barbolt basket. That's pretty telling. Because if I animate it, like you might see, if I start animating this, let's say you look at May 2025, you'll see it's like kind of all over the place. There's no geometry, there's no pattern, I would say. And then if you move it forward, you have some, not much going on. I would say there's one day like this day, June 5th or June 6th. June 6th, you see a star, a 6-pointed star. So this is pretty beautiful in my opinion, right? June 6th, 6-6, basically 6-6 portal. You have this nice 6-pointed star from the sun's perspective. However, this does not include just planets. Like if you see at the bottom over here, you have actually 2 asteroids, Vesta and Juno. So the other points are like Mercury, Mars. Over here you have Venus, Pluto, and here you have Neptune, Saturn, and then Uranus. So, but on one of the points you only have asteroids. But it's okay, it's fine. We can still somewhat count it, It would be nice if all the points were planets. That makes it much more powerful, but even this is fine, honestly. So that is one beautiful geometry moment. But after that, we don't really see much in terms of geometry, until we reach this July 7th moment, where you have this beautiful kind of a barballed basket, over here. So yeah, that is one more thing on July 7th that kind of tells you like that it is quite a good day, basically. I'm trying to see if there's anything else to talk about. Oh yeah, this was my version of the phase diagram, and actually, like a lot of people are like concerned, right? Because they think that recently in the New York workshop, it was said that the event may not happen this year. The plan is in flux, and there were certain things that were said in past workshops that actually mentioned 2025 as the year of change, but I'm not at liberty to tell you like what was presented because actually I was I cannot tell you that, but basically like this is my best guess of the the phase diagram basically, and I had put 7-7 over here at the bottom just because of the astrology. But it remains to be seen. If enough darkness is cleared, then maybe we can have it on July 7th. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, US has its birth chart, like on July 4th. So that is, and the Ascended Masters are working with the US. So yes, the Ascended Masters will be working to trigger the financial reset. So it's 7-7 is a good moment for the connection with the United States because the Independence Day is just 3 days before. Yeah. Is there any other questions or anything? Okay. Anyone wants to say anything? Otherwise, I think that's it. I mean, I think I had only this much to present.
Yeah, thanks, Prajwal. I got a bit of a download to say something to this group. So the download I got is that the light forces are even more eager for the event to happen than we are, because they've been seeing this, like our struggle, as well as their own personal struggles, in defeating the anomaly and in winning the war against the dark forces. So they're even more eager than us. And I think what they want us to understand is kind of to have that deeper knowing or that deeper trust that everything is actually going according to the plan, and the earth will be freed, in the way that's best for humanity. So I just felt compelled to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I got that same download a few days ago, because I got the download that the surface Earth humans have the easiest role. They just need to stay alive. Okay, the light forces, they have to fight the Chimera. They have to fight the negative Andromedans. They need to remove spider poison. They need to defeat like all the Dark Atlantean network, Dark Tibetan network. They need to disentangle the lurker. They need to they need to infiltrate the surface society, and then they need to study the psychology of surface humans, and minimize the violence and all that. It's like we have the easiest role. Like we're just sitting here, we just need to stay alive. It's not easy to stay alive, but I mean, from their perspective, they would definitely, you know, they have a hard role as well, because without them, like, I mean, without them, we would be dead. Like the whole universe would have collapsed into like a black hole, like basically if the toplet bombs were triggered, the whole universe would be over. Actually, that's why the alpha timeline also collapsed, because in 2017, 2018, the dark forces were going to trigger the toplet bombs. So that's why the alpha timeline also collapsed. The whole universe, that the light forces are not really just looking at Earth, they're looking at the whole universe. That's why they cannot directly intervene, because the whole universe's destruction is very much a scenario that could have played out. Nothing would be remaining. The whole universe would be over. And like the light forces, they have done a lot. Like we would have, otherwise we would not be living like this. We would be still in like some totalitarian lockdown. All the bad stuff that we went through in 2020. That would just get worse without them doing a lot of things. We would be living a much worse life right now without them. So they have been doing a lot. Yeah, they would also like for this to end. I mean, everyone. I think everyone. Source. The main thing is Source wants this to end. Source made a mistake. Source. Source. One part of Source decided to separate from itself at the beginning of this cosmic cycle, like 13 billion years ago. That is the real kind of reason why there is darkness, because it's Source that turned against itself, pretty much. It's not an experiment. Suffering and all this is it's not by design. It's kind of like one part of Source projected itself into the primary anomaly, and it turned against Source. So it's like an error. So suffering and all this is no reason to exist. So Source wants this to end. Source wants everyone to come back into Source. Source wants everyone to ascend back into Source. So we are in the third dimension. We have to go back up to the 15th dimension. So we have a long way to go. Source wants everyone to merge back, and that's why the universe expands and contracts. First, the Source wants to, explore everything, and then it wants everyone to come back into itself. So in order for everyone to come back, there needs to be clearing of all the darkness, because darkness only leads to more darkness. Evil leads to more evil. So evolution doesn't work with darkness. It hinders evolution. Only joy leads to more joy and leads to ascension and leads to more happiness. Happiness leads to happiness. So that's the flaw. A lot of people have this flawed understanding of this whole picture. They think suffering is necessary to grow. It's not. Suffering blocks growth in every case. So yeah, I mean, the light forces, obviously they want to end this. I think everyone wants to end this. It's just a matter of safety for the whole planet and for the whole universe, But now I think they have done a lot, So hopefully on May 12th, they will decide, the Ascended Masters will decide they have cleared enough anomaly and now we can take actions, But again, I don't think it's possible to trigger the event before July 7th. Because again, you need to have a Sirius pulse, you need to have a M87 Galaxy pulse to trigger the event, So, and you obviously need to clear enough darkness. So a lot of things have to go right. But hopefully they will. And but I don't expect anything before July 7th. Like, yeah.
beautifully put. Everything you said.
Mhm. But a lot of people, they're doing these meditations online. They think they can trigger the event and all of that. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't think that can happen. Just maybe that's my own pessimism, but like the way I understand it is that the astrology, the numerology, the darkness removal, everything has to align for the event to happen. So hopefully the darkness has been removed now. The astrology looks good. The numerology looks good. Sirius is supporting this. The M87 is supporting this. So the outer planets are all supporting this. Sun is supporting this. I think there will be a emerald green pulse directly aimed at Earth on July 7th. Actually, the source is emerald green light. Right now, the M87 pulse on May 12th is for the whole solar system, which includes planet Earth, but it's not aimed at planet Earth. I think it's aimed mostly at the sun. So and then the sun will aim it to the whole solar system. But I think on July 7th, the M87 pulse looks like it's much more directed to Neptune, and from Neptune it'll come to our planet as well. So but there should be a pulse from M87 directed to Earth, and hopefully it will be emerald green light. And there's also an exercise that you have to write down whatever your ideal vision is before the event. So that exercise basically connects this moment with the moment of the event. Because right now it's the event, like a lot of people, they don't know when it'll happen. I mean, even I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, um, we have to start like connecting our life every day with the event, you know. So we write down how we want our life to go, like what is our ideal life between now and the event, you know. So if we start doing that every day, that is a good exercise, you know. So I don't know, maybe we can, before we end the call, if we have 4 minutes, we can write down a little bit. We can just type it out somewhere. So maybe we can do that exercise here. That might be good actually. So I would recommend, like, if you have 4 minutes, then we can end. So you can write down your ideal life between now and the event. Just write down a paragraph or a few sentences or more. And we can do that right now. And we can begin. So you can type it out in the notes or something. Just your life between now and the event. Your ideal life. Okay, 1 more minute. Okay, so that was good. I hope you guys wrote down some things. I think one or two people they shared some things. So Ram Devi wrote, connect with source daily, happy time with family, no traumas, no work, spend time in nature, good health, become light body, connection with ascended masters, remember all our lives and release all worries. Very nice. Spend time with nature is really nice. Happy time with family, no traumas, very nice. Yeah. Victory wrote, starting SOTR group. Yeah, for sure. If you can find 3 people, that is much appreciated. Sharing this information in an easy to understand way to as many people able and willing to receive it. I also wrote something similar. Nice. Making great progress in multiple missions, creating a highly strong connection to my twin soul and soulmates. Yeah, the twin soul I think will happen after the event because they're mostly I think on the motherships. Very rare, or but like soulmates for sure. Yeah, I think that can be more easily done. Great learning more about plants and cultivation, learning more and progressing greatly in energy cultivation. Nice. Nice. You guys have written nice things. Nice. Anyone else wants to share what they wrote? So I can say, yeah. I can say what I wrote a little bit. I want my life to be relaxed. I would love to spend my days with my friends, soul family, soulmates. I would love to be in beautiful places with supportive people around me. I would love to enjoy spending time with people who motivate and inspire me. I would love to have enough money for my necessities and to carry out my mission. I would love to connect more with the Agarthans, Pleiadians, Templars, Grail Bloodline, Aldebarans, Resistance Movement, Seraphims, Metatron, etc. I would love to work with Tachionized Emeralds and do the Agartha meditation with them. I'd love for everyone to treat each other nicely, no fighting. I'd love for people to understand my material and develop their consciousness with true spirituality. Uh, Free flow of energy, and my parents will yeah, I wrote something that they will be also living a good life until the event. So yeah. Anyone else wants to share anything they wrote?
Well, I wrote, I connect every day with the ascension liberation energies. There is only love, peace, harmony, and understanding among all beings on earth. And we are one with all the galactic races. We live in harmony again with the laws of the universe and respecting them as well.
Nice. Very nice. Anyone else? I hope all of you wrote down the stuff. Because this exercise, okay, if no one else is sharing, then it's okay. So you can do this exercise every day or as many times, honestly, as you want. And it will basically align you, it will shift your timeline to the most positive, optimal timeline before the event. Yeah, it's recommended to do this at least once a day if you can. Just write down as much as you want in as much detail, as much precision, or as less detail, anything you want. Write down your ideal life between now and the event, and that will connect this moment with the moment of the event. Because right now they're completely disconnected. The event seems like a far off, something that's really far off, and something that's totally no one knows when it'll happen, etc., etc. So this can make you more, aligned with the energy also of the event flash. And I would say, like, I mean, at this point, I mean, I'll just give you some like other like stuff that's been going on in my head. I guess you can comment if you resonate with anything. But like, I don't know. A lot of times, I just feel like it's like we are fighting like an entropic war. Like basically, the surface society will keep on becoming worse and worse and worse because of the second law of thermodynamics, which says that a closed system will just get more and more entropic, which basically means that the surface society, for example, the financial system, the political, everything, mostly it will display a negative downward trajectory, So if we've reached so far, I think we just need to hold on a little more and hopefully change will come. But until that moment, it can be a little rough, So I think doing this exercise will really help people lift their mood as well. And I know the financial system, I think, is really the most, messed up invention. It's directly imported from Rigel, from Orion, So there's a need for a lot of change, in the financial system. So that'll only happen at the moment of the event. But before the event, also, there's an open invitation. We are looking for a third person to basically join us in creating like a community chamber of tachyon chambers. So we need 3 tachyon chambers in Manhattan, below Central Park, ideally. So we are looking for a third person, and we want to basically infuse the whole goddess ley line with the energy of tachyons, which is the energy of the source. So if there's anyone, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to point out, I'll turn on the camera as well. I have a spare tachyon chamber. I live in Virginia, USA, and if somebody was willing to purchase it, I won't get the money, but Cobra will. But he will probably be able to sell it at a much cheaper rate. But I have a spare tachyon chamber.
So it's like with you, or where is it?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
So what do you mean spare? So it's activated, right?
It was activated. I was given a special mission to place it somewhere near here, okay. And its mission was finished. So I was told to dismantle it and just simply store it here. So again, it's not my chamber; it's Cobra's chamber. I didn't buy it. It just happens to be here.
So what is the ownership of that? Will you have to ship it back?
No, I was told to just hold on to it, and if somebody wants to buy it, then they would have to go through Cobra.
All right, so maybe we can ask Cobra about this, whether it can be positioned in Manhattan, because that would definitely be very useful, extremely useful if there's any way to buy that at a cheaper rate or anything like that. The thing is, we already have a chamber. We have 3 chambers. The only problem is that the third chamber is not activated yet. In order for it to be activated, it needs to be. So there used to be 3 chambers, and now that we're looking for 3 people to basically buy the third chamber and run it. So because the person who's looking after it, basically they are traveling and they cannot look after it basically. So they want to sell it, and I think maybe this third chamber, this chamber you're talking about, maybe it can be used in a different location. We don't need to ship a chamber to Manhattan. We already have that chamber. We just need someone to buy it and run it. Um, you know, so I don't know how this could help in this. It might help though, because that person, maybe they can buy the chamber from you, and then something like that, like something can be figured out. But yeah, it's interesting to know that. Definitely
Yes.
interesting to know that. Yeah.
You wouldn't be paying me, you'd be paying Carl as usual, but he would probably sell it to you for a lower price.
Oh, okay. That could be helpful. The thing is that this person wants to actually get the money back from from selling the chamber that they had. So I don't know if or maybe if that person still wants a chamber, then they can buy this chamber. It's possible. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but I don't know about the ownership status of this chamber, because if they would need it back for some other place, I don't know. We can ask Cobra about this. If that person is interested, then maybe we can ask about this. Thank you for letting us know.
Yes, and Natia is very helpful. He's
Mhm.
Cobra's
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
lead.
Definitely. Definitely very useful. Yeah, that person is very useful. Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone has any contacts and wants to join this community chamber project, any leads, just let us know, because now, as you can see, time is running out, and maybe this chamber that Dr. Joe just mentioned can be deployed. So that is one option as well. We can look at that for sure. But the thing is, we still might need 3 people, considering the cost of the chamber, how much it is. Even after the discount, it might still be necessary for 3 people to pool in the funds. But all I'm trying to say is that we have a very strong deadline now. I would say July 7th, like before July 7th, definitely we need that third chamber to be back online. For that, because it's directly connected to the financial reset, the event flash and the financial reset, they're the same thing. So yeah, there's a lot more. I think about 7.7, there's also the Orion connection, the whole 3 stargates in the middle of Orion's belt. Metatron will be working with the Sirius Pulse. To if it is the financial reset, then Metatron will be coming through those, in my opinion, will be working through those 3 chambers in Manhattan to triangulate the event flash. So for many reasons, this third chamber is very important in Manhattan. However, it can be brought online. Yeah. So that is one project. Another thing that happened is the fundraiser actually blocked us or something like that. I don't know what happened to that. It just everything, all the fundraisers went down and the account got removed. So I think it's some sort of dark force manipulation over there. So yeah, interesting things as we get closer to the big moments of this year. The craziness will just keep going up. So yeah. And I think there's also like just this whole fatigue phenomena, right? Like everyone is kind of fatigued right now, and even the light forces, the resistance movement are also extremely fatigued. Like this has also been mentioned in one of the recent workshops. So the resistance movement themselves are quite tired. So the whole fatigue phenomena is kind of real. I think we're all kind of going through it, and it's not good. Basically, like you would assume that as time goes on, then people would kind of, you give people many chances, and then hopefully people improve their behavior or something. But the whole thing is that like the fatigue phenomena comes in. The whole, so many people that have just given up because they were expecting the event in 2012, 2013, 2018, 2019, 2020. and we are still here in May 2025, and there's nothing. So, this a lot of people, they just give up. So I think it's one of the reasons why the light forces, they should intervene quickly, right? Because otherwise, people will there will be no one left to liberate, and actually the consciousness is going down. I think that people are getting, their life is catching up. People get old, people die, their money runs out. So it's an entropic situation, right? Where money just gets harder and harder to get. Um, I think money just becomes like the inflation keeps going up. A lot of places on the earth, they have really bad energetic conditions right now. So I think it's a very tricky situation. Like the amount of darkness, I think, is like still too much. And surface humans are also negatively using their free will still, and no one is. I don't think the light forces were prepared for this whole situation where the surface humans, they destroy the timelines, they collapse the timelines. The whole Archon invasion, for example, there was a 40% chance of the first wave of ascension to happen between 1994 and 1996, but humanity said no, and so we had the Archon invasion. I don't think the situation with the surface humanity is going to change. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So it was quite striking when in Phoenix we were told that 50% of humanity is working for the dark forces. That's just a crazy number, like 4 billion people. So yeah, I don't know. I just think like now it's only in the source's hands at this point to deal with all this darkness, including on the surface. Like I don't think it can be expected from surface humans who are politicians and all of these people. Like I don't think we can expect them to create the change. I think all the attempts have been exhausted in that regard. So now we have the hybrid liberation plan. So whoever is good-willed maybe can be counted in, but I would say at this moment it's like I don't know how it's going to work out, because it's always an interplay between like astrology, which is basically the energy resonance, right? And the free will. So the whole cosmic cycle, the entire last 13 billion years, has just been an interplay between the anomaly and the free will. The energy, the resonance, and the free will. So it's always a combination. So we can look at the astrology, but there's also a free will component. So if people use their free will positively, like maybe we can have the event. I don't know. Yeah, but if there's still too much darkness and people, they collapse timelines, like I don't know. This is the last timeline left now, Gamma timeline. If this doesn't happen and 1221 opens, I don't know how we're going to survive like the cosmic cycle ending. It's just people are going to be freaking out like crazy if like there's a portal that opens, and the whole universe is like witnessing that. Even the earth will witness that. I don't know how it will be. So I really hope that like this timeline doesn't collapse, because but it's a free will situation. Like no one actually knows when the event will happen. This is just depends on free will. And I don't know if any of you have any thoughts like.
Well, I got the message when I was meditating the other day that the divine plan is in place.
Mm-hmm.
That was the message. So I'm going with that. And the highest timeline possible, the most positive timeline possible. That's what I'm going forward with.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the divine plan looks like it's 7/7, but like, I don't know. It's very difficult on the surface of the earth. We have just been subjected to too many divine plans collapsing. Because if you really look at the astrology from like from the 80s onwards, or even before that, actually, if you look at even the 50s onwards, like you had really good astrology, and actually they thought that humans would actually achieve free energy in the 1920s. and
Mhm.
we would be living in galactic society by the 1950s. That's why the Eisenhower administration was contacted by Ashtar Command at Edwards in 53. And that obviously the Jesuits sabotaged that. But basically, like, astrology is only one aspect, I would say, of this whole thing. There's a divine plan. The divine plan seems to be to clear all the darkness and then trigger the event. So I hope the divine plan proceeds regardless of whether anyone, as long as it's safe, as long as it's safe enough, I think the light forces will be pressurized by the source, because the source wants to end this. It's so clear when you look at the astrology, the source wants to end this whole thing, the whole darkness, the whole quarantine, and the source is sending pulses to Earth. So hopefully the divine or plan will pressurize the light forces as well, even though they are so fatigued and everything. But I think now they're hopeful. So hopefully we have enough elements in place to trigger the event, because now I think the Aldebarans have taken over the surface society. I don't know if you read the Bogota notes, but basically the resistance movement after March 29th, they have been able to reach the surface. They are walking among the surface humans all over the earth now, not just in Bogota, also in New York, everywhere. All cities, the resistance movement have also reached the surface, and the Aldebarans have also infiltrated the surface. So the light forces from above and the light forces from below have met on the surface, which is called the compression breakthrough, basically. Now just the light needs to also reach the earth. So my guess, or whatever understanding of what happened on March 29th with the dragon ley line and the goddess equator activation, that was actually the light from below reaching the surface. So now we're waiting for the light from above to reach the surface, because there's still too much dark matter anomaly. There's still too many lurker. There's still too much veil. We have a lot of negative technologies blocking the light from reaching the surface from above. But I think the light from below has reached the surface. At least it has reached the dragon lines and the goddess equator, like etherically. So I think the energetic planes on the earth are looking good now. Just the light from above should also reach the surface, and that will be the tachyonic when we get surrounded by tachyons, pretty much, when the veil is gone. So hopefully the light forces can clear the darkness, and we can have the flash on 7/7, which can bring the tachyons to the surface finally, hopefully. But obviously, if that doesn't happen, then we go on with our life, and let's see. Then we'll probably talk about August 21st, and hopefully by the end of this year, we should be out of this mess. If not by July, which I hope it'll be July, but I don't know for certain. Yeah. Anyone else wants to say anything?
I guess I wanted to, like in the New York workshop, he talked about the code New Heaven, and I think you were mentioning like an astrology aspect to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, because for me, I feel like I've experienced some dreams.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about the dreams?
Yeah, so in dreams, like I visualize, or it's come to me that like they might be happening, like a lot of them might be happening on motherships, and so I felt like that was a connection for the code word.
Okay. Like what things are happening on motherships?
Like dreams, like
Okay.
yeah, because I often visualize like classroom settings and how it's like basically like after event kind of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just my like understanding of the code word.
Yeah, actually, New Heaven was transmitted, as you can see, on August 11, 1999. And that was the key that Source gave to the light forces so that the anomaly could be removed completely, basically. And New Heaven is there is other things about it, but I think the most important is there's also other codes. There's other codes. There's a sub key of New Heaven called New Earth. That is also a code that was transmitted later on. And then there's also New Atlantis. So yeah, there's a bunch of these codes. But New Heaven will, I think the final part of New Heaven, I hope the final part is on July 7th, because you remember, like, we're talking about like that ascension planet, this paragraph basically. So if the New Heaven was transmitted on August 11, 1999, then hopefully the final part has some relation to do with July 7th, hopefully. But New Heaven, I think, is like a key to liberate the whole cosmos from the darkness, not just Earth, the whole cosmos. So maybe it has some more relation with August 21st than July 7th. Maybe July 7th is more connected to New Earth than New Heaven. But the New Earth is just a sub aspect of New Heaven. So yeah, I think July 7th will also be connected to New Heaven for sure. I mean, New Heaven is kind of like basically the transformation of the whole physical plane of the universe, to free it from all the evil, all the darkness. Not just the physical, all the energetic planes as well, but like basically turning everything back into like heaven-like conditions, right? So I don't know if you know, but like the Sufis, for example, for them the heaven was green, right? Emerald green. Even I think for some of the Chinese people, like their grotto heavens, they always write poetry about them in emerald green color, So I think New Heaven is like transformation of the whole universe into like the tachyonic, where the whole universe is connected with tachyons, and we have emerald green subquantum light basically in the whole universe, in the whole cosmos, because I think, yeah, New Heaven must be connected with the cosmic central sun also, It must have come from the cosmic central sun, because when it was transmitted on August 11, 1999, that was a cosmic turning point, that was a day of Sipapu. I'll write it down, Sipapu. So yeah, New Heaven is pretty good. You should try to meditate more on that. Maybe I can send you some more stuff about New Heaven. I can maybe post something about New Heaven. I made one. Actually, it's interesting. It's very interesting that the day I posted about New Heaven was exactly one day before the Bogota workshop, and then the next day New Heaven was mentioned in the workshop. See, this is the day I posted about New Heaven, and the next day New Heaven was spoken about. And then after that, I posted about the cosmic central sun being emerald green, and then the next update has the cosmic central sun with emerald ray. So the cosmic central sun, in my understanding, is emerald green in color. That's why the tachyon's also emerald green. That's why the Tachyonis website is also emerald green. Flower of Life connects you with the source directly. So all of this, like New Heaven, must be connected with the tachyons, with the Flower of Life, emerald green, Earth. Earth will become a blue planet, like the water will be blue and the land will be green. I got this meditation when I was doing the emerald ray. I also got this visualization that, like, right now a lot of parts of the earth, they have deserts, they have ice, they have a lot of other stuff. But after the event, the climate will be regulated and the whole earth can be covered in greenery, in trees and everything, like reforestation basically. Like earth will become like a paradise, green sort of a paradise on the land. So New Heaven must be connected to a lot of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can maybe try to send you some more stuff you can read about New Heaven. Maybe I'll put it in a post or something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, either one or both would work. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your insights.
I think right now, I'm trying to write a post. I'm trying to write many posts, but I think one of them should be about the Sisterhood of the Rose. because that is important to have them in place before July 7th, you know, in as many places as we can, you know. Yeah. Yeah, anything else? Someone wrote something? Gotta go, okay. Yeah. So I think we can end it. Anyone has any other questions or anything to share? Okay, I think if there's no one, then we can finally end this and hopefully, I mean, oh, wait, I think I had to show something. Yeah. It was interesting that, oh, wait, did you raise your hand?
No, that was an accident. Sorry.
Okay, okay. Yeah, just I found this very interesting that like just before this call, there was a notification on my phone that has these numbers, you know, 11, 11, and 11. You know, 1111 is angel numbers, you know. So yeah, I think they're trying to now. I think the angels are being much more blatant. You know, I'll show you like one more example is I was doing like a times. I was doing a grid, very important grid in February and March, and I was really sick, and I was so sick I wanted to go back home. I was like really sick, and then I was like even doubting whether I should continue or someone else should take it over, you know. And then I saw my health insurance and I saw 1221 written there in the like in the amount. So then I knew I would be successful, you know. And recently I also saw a notification with 2112 in it. And every day I'm opening my phone and I'm seeing 2112, 444. You know, it's like I think the angels are coming closer. Hopefully now the angels are coming closer to us. You know, the light can finally return. So let's see how May 12th goes, and whether these predictions they can hold up or not. But I definitely think there will be some cosmic and galactic and serious pulses on July 7th. That is for sure. I'm pretty confident about that. I don't know how it will affect the event and all that, but like the pulses will happen, in my opinion. And actually, no one will tell you about these pulses because it is too. I mean, it's like that's why they were saying, right, that the event may or may not happen this year. The situation is fluid, because they cannot officially confirm anything because it has to remain an absolute surprise to everyone. So if you have the eyes to see, then you can see this chart and maybe you can see something interesting. But for most people, I think they needs to be classified and it cannot be spoken about. So I don't expect them to tell us anything about July 7th. even like one day before, they may not be able to open their mouths and tell us that, like, you know, this is something that's going to happen, you know. So hopefully this video will contribute to the literature on the subject, and hopefully you guys will understand what I'm saying, and maybe you want to probe deeper into this yourself or something. But yeah, it's a sad situation. It's a very sad situation that we have this quarantine and we cannot directly get confirmation of these things, you know. But we have been given a lot already, so hopefully, yeah. Anyway, I think, is there any else, anyone saying anything, or we can end the call? Okay, I think we can end the call then. Cool. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
It
you
was
for
such a
hosting.
long call. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
and
Thank you.
hopefully I can see you guys in maybe next time. I'll talk about
Soon.
1221. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. See you. Bye.
Peace, love, and light.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Read
Thank
the
you.
light.
Victory of the light. Yeah. Victory of the emerald green light.
Yes.
Yes.
That is the skull. I'm pretty sure that is the color of our cosmic central sun. Did you get the emerald ray?
Yes.
Yes. Have you been doing it?
Every day, twice a
Yes.
day.
Twice a day.
Twice. I only managed to do it once a day. But I'm so
Oh.
happy you are doing it twice a day.
We're greedy.
It's great, isn't it?
Yes.
You both have been doing it twice a day.
I've been doing mine.
But I did the Emerald Ray, so yeah, I thought I could do it twice a day. Maybe I shouldn't.
You can do it 2 times a day. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you separate it,
I
30
do.
minutes in between. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do it once once after waking up and once before sleeping.
Right.
Okay.
Ideally. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's ideally.
And you can do it a third time if you have an emergency, anytime in the day.
That's right. Yeah, we can't forget
Yeah.
that part. Yeah.
Yeah. When I have emergencies, I usually do the rays. Like especially Jwal Khol is really nice to heal any sort of pain and stuff.
Yes,
Mhm.
I have that one too.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Emerald Ray honestly is like it's so powerful. Like I get the best downloads when I do that Emerald Ray. Best downloads. I even had a download that was I don't know. I think Source is a little disappointed. I don't know why I feel like Source is telling me things like most people are not ready for first contact, and I'm like, oh my god, like why are you being so cynical? But I don't know. Maybe it's my own brain being really cynical, and I think it's a download. But
Maybe.
sometimes you can tell when these thoughts are happening during the day, and they're really like deep. Sometimes.
Hmm
Like the download about tachyons being emerald green, and actually it was at the workshop, and then it was even said that they may or may not be emerald green in color. Even the cosmic central sun, the reply was it may or may not be emerald green.
Mm.
But I
Right.
think tachyonis, this blew me away. Like this photo just like blew me away, honestly.
Yes.
It's so
And I
obvious.
Yeah. I never noticed it was green, and I've looked at many, many times. I never noticed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's hiding in plain sight.
Yes, right in front of us. It's true.
Yeah, there's no stronger ray in this universe than the emerald green ray, actually.
Oh, okay.
And even the image, it's the sorry, I can't talk about the image, but anyway. Yeah. But this 7/7 stuff is actually driving me like it's like when I saw this again, I was like, oh my god, like this is actually crazy. Like
Hmm.
this Neptune being exactly opposite MED7 was just like how divine.
Yes. Yeah, that whole thing is divine, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
the whole
Mhm.
thing.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The universe is really beautiful, but the anomaly is really bad. So
Don't worry. He'll
hopefully
be
this is
strong.
hopefully this is the tipping point now.
Yes.
I-
And yes, I think we all are tired.
Yeah.
But we have to keep going on. It's just like that old Bible verse that says, and just when you're getting ready to faint, you just keep going. You find the strength and you keep going. So that's what we've got to do. Yes.
It's just getting for most people, I think it's getting harder and harder.
It
That's
is.
why
It's
that's why the comments in the blog, there were
not
like
getting
over
better.
100 comments. Yeah.
Right. But
Saying
this
like
fight,
it's getting
it
too
looks like
difficult.
in
Sorry,
the
I have,
third
I have,
one.
a,
Yeah.
I have a question. Sorry, when you mentioned the Emerald Ray, it's a meditation, right?
It's a ray. It's like a ray initiation.
No, initiation.
You go to
Okay.
the workshop or conference and you can get that.
Okay.
But you can also try to do the Emerald Agartha meditation. It's there in my Bogota notes. And you can use an emerald and you can actually like visualize it becoming big. And then you can go down the staircase, enter a lake, and then meet the Agarthans and then come back up. So you can do that without the emerald ray. You can still get like a really beautiful experience,
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful experience. But the emerald ray will again, you have to do the Vesak full moon meditation. That is also the emerald meditation. Are you talking about this one? This one? Have you seen this?
with
There's an
rock.
emerald
Yes.
meditation. Yeah.
Yes, I saw it, but yes, just before that you were talking about this rate, but I didn't know if it was a meditation or a practice, and if it requires some kind of initiation as well.
Yeah. There's Emerald Ray, which requires the initiation. Yeah. But there's
Okay.
also the Emerald Meditation, this one. Yeah.
Okay, yes, I'm aware of that
Yeah.
one. Thanks.
And then there's an Emerald Agartha meditation also.
Okay.
Yeah. Emerald is like amazing. I don't know if you have emeralds, but if you don't, you should get them. They're
Yes, I
amazing.
don't, but I just read it in one of your posts, I think was today, that here in Bogota we find a lot of good emeralds
Yeah.
that, and we shouldn't get the broken pieces, but like the
Yeah.
whole part.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get one.
The Muzo ones have the highest vibration in the whole
Okay.
world. Yeah, Bogota is. I went to the Emerald Museum, also very, very amazing.
Okay. Gonna go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Thank you so much. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye.